Shabbat Shalom, everybody, both people who are in their homes and a reasonable crowd of people in KLS tonight. So, in a slight change from the advertised programme, this evening's service is being led by 5 of us from the KLS choir. So, I don't know if everybody out there knows everybody, but I'm Sandra Webber, and we've got Seymour Kelly, Fleur and Dee, Dee Glover and Vince Daly, and we are leading this service jointly for you. We're very excited because this is the first service that we have sung at together since before the pandemic. Although you have heard our voices during the pandemic, those have all been recordings that we've made individually and that were professionally edited by our choir director, Rebecca Weddell, who is unfortunately isolating because all of the rest of her household have tested positive. So we wish Rebecca to escape the virus and the rest of her family to be better soon. So just before we start, and since I said we're here members of the choir, there are more members of the choir. Some of them are on holiday. And there could be more members of the choir if any of you would like to join us, because we're sort of restarting now after the pandemic. So it's very good for your well-being to sing, and it's fun and a lovely way to contribute to KLS. So if you want to join us, get in touch. You don't have to read music or read Hebrew. Anyway, for those who are in the building this evening, the rules have changed. You're allowed to sing and join in with us if you want to, so please do. So, because this is a bit of a first occasion, we're going to begin with a Shechecheyanu blessing. If you have a Siddur, it's on page 548, and this is, of course, a blessing that you say for something new or on the first occasion or the first time something's been done for a long time. And just to read the English first, it's very appropriate. We praise you, eternal God, sovereign of the universe, that you have kept us alive, sustained us, and enabled us to reach this season. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu
melech haolam שהחיינו וקיימנו והגיענו לזמן הזה.
Also like now to sing Ma Tovu, which is normally in the morning service, but if you want to turn to page 105, if you have it, we just thought, because it's how lovely are your tents, O Jacob, your dwelling places, O Israel, and since this is our dwelling place in the building at KLS, we thought it would be appropriate. So now we're doing service number 4, which is on page 84. And I'd like to invite Liz to come up and light the candles. 84, yes. This has got a bit of a challenge here because the candle has gone sort of concave, as they sometimes do.
Trim the wick, Liz. Pull the wick up straight.
Pull the wick up. How about I give you a different candle?
Probably been there for the last 15 minutes.
It's usually the matches that know.
Amen.
Okay, so reading on page 84. Draw near, eternal God, as working day turns to Sabbath rest. You have been with us all the week, and yet we have often forgotten you. Now, kindling these lights, we say your name, remembering the love you have shown us, and in gratitude and thanks, we turn to you to bathe our hungry souls in your kindness. May a new light shine upon Zion, and may we be worthy to see its splendour. On this day, may we see the world in a new light. On this day, let us be freed from desire for gain, from ambition for material things. On this day, let us look beyond time and space towards eternity and know the blessing of peace. As the sparrow finds a home and the swallow has a nest where she may lay her young, so do I seek out your altars, my sovereign and my God. Happy are those who dwell in your house, who are ever singing your praise. Happy are those who find their strength in you, whose hearts are full of your praise. Passing through the driest valley, they find it a place of springs, blessed with pools by the early rains. They go from strength to strength. They appear before God in Zion. God of the hosts of heaven, hear my prayer.
Give ear,
O God of Jacob. One day in your courts is better than 1,000 elsewhere. I'd rather stand at the threshold of your house than recline in tents of wickedness. Eternal God, you are a sun and a shield. Your gifts are grace and glory. You withhold no good thing from those who walk uprightly. Eternal ruler of the hosts of heaven, happy are those who trust in you. Let's read this next, well, it looks like a song. Let's read it together in English. Proclaim freedom for daughter and son, and keep us, God, as the apple of your eye. Beautiful make our name and never to cease, as we come to rest on the Sabbath day. Seek out the place where I dwell, O God, and grant me a sign of your deliverance. In my vineyard plant a vine, and hearken to my people's plea. Know what is wisdom for your soul, what is a crown for your head, to keep the command of your Holy One, to observe your holy Sabbath.
Now we move to page 92 in the prayer book. And I ask the congregation to stand if they are able. La 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 la. Please be seated. We praise you, eternal one, our God, sovereign of the universe, whose word brings on the evening, whose wisdom opens heaven's gates, whose understanding changes times and seasons, and whose will sets the stars in their courses in the sky. You make day and night, rolling light away from darkness and darkness from light. You make day pass and bring on the night, and separate day from night. You rule the hosts of heaven. We praise your God, whose word makes evening fall.
Ahavat olam,
Bet Yisrael,
Torah u'mitzvot, chukim u'mishpatim, otanu limadata, otanu limadata. Amen Adonai Eloheinu b'shokenu, u'gamenu nasiach b'chukecha, b'nizrak b'divrei Toratecha, u'mitzvotecha le'olam va'ed. Ki hayenu re'orech yameinu, u'ahem negeyomam v'layla, negeyomam v'layla. V'haftazu mimeinu le'olamim. Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev amo Yisrael. Ohev amo Yisrael. Now please stand for the Shema. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. 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 Please be seated. L'man tizkaru v'asitem ekol mitzvotai v'tem kadoshim l'Elohechem ani Adonai Elohechem asher hotzeti etchem me'eretz Mizrayim v'yoch lachem l'Elohim ani Adonai Elohechem. All this we hold to be true and sure. You alone, Eternal One, are our God, and we are Israel, your people. You have freed us from oppressors and delivered us from tyrants. You led us out of Egypt, forever to serve you in freedom. When we witnessed your power, we praised your name and gave thanks. Willingly we accepted your rule. Then full of joy, we sang together. And it has been said, the Eternal One has delivered Jacob and redeemed us from the hand of one stronger than ourselves. We praise you, O God, Redeemer of Israel. Grant, Eternal God, that we may lie down in peace, and let us rise up to life renewed. Spread over us the shelter of your peace. Guide us with your wise counsel, and for your name's sake be our help. Shield us from sickness and war, from famine and distress, and keep us from wrongdoing. Shelter us in the shadow of your wings, for you are our guardian and deliverer, a gracious and merciful God. Guard our going out and our coming in, that now and always we may have life and peace. We praise your God. May your sheltering peace descend on us and all who dwell on earth.
Adonai sefatai tiftach ufia gitehilatacha. Eternal God, open my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu v'Elohei Avotenu v'Imaltenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzhak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el HaGadol v'Hagibar v'Hanara, El Elyon, Gomel Hasadim Tavim, v'Karnei Hakal, v'Zalchei Hasdei Avot v'Imachot, Umevi Gula Livnei v'Nechem, L'man Shema B'Yachava, Melech Ozer u'Moshiach u'Mogen, Baruch atah Adonai, Mogen Avraham ve'Ezrat Sarah. Unending is your might, Eternal One. You are the source of eternal life.
Great is your power to redeem. You cause the wind to blow and the rain to fall, the sun to shine and the dew to descend. Mechalkein hayim b'chesed, mechaye meitim b'rachamim rabim, samech naflin v'rofei cholim, umatir asurim, umekaye memunato, lishenei afar. Mi hamocha ba'al gevurot, umido meloch, melech meimit umachaye, umatzmiya Yeshua. V'ne'eman ata l'chayot meitim, Baruch ata Adonai, Machaye Hameitim. You are holy, awesome is your name. We have no God but you. We praise you, Eternal One, the Holy God. We thank you, O God, for this Sabbath day, which calls us to a closer communion with you. Though you are near to us at all times, you reveal your presence most clearly when we direct our thoughts towards you in worship and meditation. In you, O God, our humanity is exalted. You are our life. From you come its greatness, its power, its beauty. Establish in us, we humbly pray, a devotion to you that shall be firm in all the circumstances of life. May this service renew in our hearts the sense of your presence and bring us peace.
We're on page 99. Yismachu, Yismachu Malchutecha,
Shomrei Shabbat v'korei oneg.
Yismachu, Yismachu Malchutecha,
Shomrei Shabbat v'korei oneg. Al mekadshei shavi, kulam yismachu v'yisandu mituvecha. Yismachu, Yismachu v'malchutecha, Shomrei Shabbat v'korei oneg.
Vashvi ratzita bo, v'kidasho, emdat yamim, oto karata,
Zeichel ma'aseh bereshit, Yismachu, Yismachu b'malchutecha, Shomrei Shabbat v'korei oneg. Top of page 100. Our God and God of our ancestors, may our rest on this day be pleasing in your sight. Sanctify us by your commandments and make us loyal to your teaching. Satisfy us with your goodness, gladden us with your salvation, and purify our hearts to serve you in truth. In your gracious love, Eternal One, let the holiness of your Sabbath enter our hearts, and may all Israel who hallow your name be exalted by its peace. Baruch atah Adonai, Mekadesh HaShabbat. Ritzei Adonai Eloheinu, B'yamcha Yisrael, U'tefilatam b'achava tekabel. Baruch atah Adonai she'otecha levadecha ba'ira Navod, Navod. We give thanks that you, Eternal One, are our God, as you are the God of our ancestors. You are the rock of our life, the power that shields us in every age. We thank and praise you for our lives which are in your hand, for our souls which are in your keeping, for the signs of your presence we encounter every day, and for your wondrous gifts at all times, morning, noon, and night. We praise you, O God, source of goodness, to whom our thanks are due.
Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam.
Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Ki atahu melech adon l'chol shalom. Ki atahu melech adon l'chol hashalom. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. B'tov b'necha levarech et Amcha Yisrael. B'chol eit u'b'chol sha'ah b'shlomecha. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam. Now we'll take some moments for silent prayer.
Say shalom b'mumo.
Yaseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'al kol bnei Adam. Yaseh shalom, Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, Yaseh Shalom, Shalom Aleinu V'al Kol Yisrael. Yaseh Shalom, Yaseh Shalom, Shalom Aleinu V'al Kol Yisrael. Yaseh Shalom, Yaseh Shalom, Shalom Aleinu V'al Kol Bnei Adam.
Yeah. So, slightly out of order in the service, we're going to sing Lecha Dodi. It usually comes a bit earlier, and I didn't accidentally forget it. I wanted to do it now because after this I'm going to give a mini sermonette, and you'll see why I wanted to do Lecha Dodi immediately before. So, if you'd like to join me on what I think is page 91. Yes, if you're in the building and you're using the song sheet, it's number 3 on the song sheet. And, okay, choir, off we go. 91. Lecha Dodi lekrat kala, b'nei Shabbat l'kabala. Lecha Dodi lekrat kala, b'nei Shabbat l'kabala. Shlomo v'zachor b'dibur echad, ishmiyanu el hamichad, Adonai echad, u'shemo echad, l'shemo tiferet v'litila. Lecha Dodi, Lecha Dodi lekrat kala, b'nei Shabbat l'kabala. Lecha Dodi lekrat kala, b'nei Shabbat l'kabala. Likrat Shabbat lechu v'lecha, ki hi makor habracha, merosh v'kedem l'sucha, sof ma'aseh b'mashvat tehila. Lecha Dodi, Lecha Dodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat l'kabala. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat l'kabala. Hitoreli, kiva orek kumi uri, uri, shir daveri, kavod Adonai alayich nigla. Lecha Dodi, Lecha Dodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat l'kabala. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat l'kabala. Hoi b'shalom ha'ateret ba'ala, gam b'simcha u'b'tzola, tohem u'nei segula. Boi chala, Lecha Dodi, Lecha Dodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat l'kabala. first of all, Shabbat Shalom again to the people who are watching on media. I haven't been able to ascertain everybody who's out there, but I know there's Julie, Karen, Maxine, Daniel, Deborah. Those are the only names I've been able to spot. But to everybody who's out there, Shabbat Shalom. So I'm not going to speak for ages, but this is what I want to say tonight. It is fabulous how the Torah is relevant to modern life. The Torah is also known as the 5 books of Moses, or the Pentateuch, and this week's Torah portion is from the last book, Deuteronomy, because of course we complete the annual cycle of reading and begin again at Simchat Torah, which this year will fall at the end of September. So here we are near the end of the Torah. Moses is recapping God's messages to the people of Israel before they enter the promised land without him, of course. He repeats the 10 Commandments with slight changes from the first time they appeared in the book of Exodus. As you know, rabbis like to study texts, so you can imagine that there has been much analysis of the differences between the 2 versions of the 10 Commandments. Perhaps the most famous of these is the 4th commandment, which in Exodus is this one here, if you can see me. Zachor et Yom HaShabbat, remember the Sabbath. But when it reappears in Deuteronomy, it's Shamor et Yom HaShabbat, observe the Sabbath. So we had remember and observe. And in Lachadodi, which we sing every Friday, and we just sang, we have the phrase, Shamor v'zachor b'dibur echad. That's, which means, it's referring to the traditional idea that God said those 2 different words, remember and observe, at the same time. So they're 2 sides of a coin. And it makes sense that you have to remember Shabbat, I prepare for it, like making your challah and booking in to KLS for a place. And then you actually have to do Shabbat, which is actually remember to turn up, etc. So, continuing with this week's portion, after the repetition of the 10 Commandments, we get the text of the Shema, which originates in this Torah portion and contains some more duties and obligations. And then we get something very interesting after all that. Be sure to keep the commandments, decrees, and laws that the Eternal One has commanded you, and do what is right and good in the sight of the Eternal One. Now, why do we need that last bit, do what is right and good, when we've just been given over 600 commandments, including the 10 Commandments in 2 versions and the Shema? Well, there isn't always a law for any given situation, and sometimes we have to rely on morality, on doing what's right and good. So it's been in the news this week that there are no laws governing e-scooters. They are a new product, so no laws yet. But is it right and good in the sight of the Eternal to ride them on the pavement, where they're pretty dangerous, because they're fast and they're silent? Or how about another situation where laws have been removed and people have been told to use their individual judgment? Of course, I'm thinking about mask wearing and social distancing. So you may have seen, or you may not have seen, that the Conference of Liberal Rabbis and Cantors just put out a statement this week of the principles which should guide our synagogues in deciding what restrictions to operate, because they've been asked to use their individual judgment. So they've come up with some principles which include pikuach nefesh, saving a life. Kol Yisrael arivim ze bazeh, we are responsible for one another. Chesed, profound love and kindness. And savlanut, patience. So you can read the whole statement on the LJ website. So just like the 10 Commandments were repeated, I'm going to repeat the sentence with which I began this talk. It is fabulous how the Torah is relevant to modern life. Shabbat Shalom. Fleur's coming.
Right, if you'd like to turn to page 520 for the Aleinu, and if you wish you can stand up, and if not, don't. Aleinu l'shabeach al-Adon ha'kol, לתת גדולה לנושא בראשית, אשר שמחתנו יגד את שמו, וגור עלינו להמליך מלכותו, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא, שהוא נוטה שמיים ויוצא הארץ, ומשאיר קרוב בשמיים ממעל, ושביעתו זו בגברי מרומים, הוא אלוהינו אין עוד, אמת מלכנו אפת סולתו, בהנהגתו, בתורתו, וידעת היום והשמות אל לבבך, כי אדוני הוא האלוהים בשמיים ממעל, ועל הארץ מתחת אין עוד. Dee's strength.
Yes. We don't do trusting. We just do.
Just do it, yeah. Okay. I'm going to read a poem that's on page 213. 213. Okay. And then all that has divided us will merge, and then compassion will be wedded to power, and then softness will come to a world that is harsh and unkind, and then both men and women will be gentle, and then both women and men will be strong, and then no person will be subject to another person's will, and then all will be rich and free and varied. And then the greed of some will give way to the needs of many. And then all will share equally in the earth's abundance. And then all will care for the sick and the weak and the old. And then all will nourish the young. And then all will cherish life's creatures. And then all will live in harmony with each other and earth. And then everywhere will be called Eden once again.
Life is finite. Sorry, this is page 523. Like a candle, it burns, It glows. It is radiant with warmth and beauty. Then it fades. Its substance is consumed, and it is no more. Yet we do not despair, for we know we are more than a flickering flame. With our lives, we give life. Something of us can never die. We move in the eternal cycle of darkness and light, of death and life. As in our hearts, we name our loved ones. We pray that the divine presence will comfort us and all who mourn. And this evening, we have the yard sites for Liesl Clare, the mother of Jackie Jessup and grandmother to Lydia and Nicola; Sarah Sussman, mother of Sybil Hickman; Carol Ray, mother of Paul Ray and grandmother of Ben and Natasha; Stephen Ottner, father of Sarah Ottner; and Sarah Blatt, grandmother of Anna Sanderson. And I don't know if anyone here or anyone who's watching, I don't know whether we've got any way of knowing that, has anyone that they want remembered this evening. No, I'll take that as a no. Right. Okay, well, shall we join in saying the Kaddish? Yitkadav v'yitkadash me rabbah, B'alma divra chirutei v'yamlich malchutei, v'hayevchon u'v'yomichon, u'v'chayev t'chol beit Yisrael, v'agalat v'tzman kariv v'imru amen. Yehei shmei rabbah v'varach v'yalam armei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'a v'yitromam v'yitnasei, v'yitada v'yitalei v'yitalal. Shmei Kedusha B'richu, Leila min kol birchata, v'shirata, tushbachata v'nechemata, damiran v'alma v'imru amen. Yehei shalom rabba min shemaya, v'chaim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, v'imru amen. Osei shalom b'mramav, v'yasei shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, Yokol b'nei Adam v'imru amen. Let me go on to the
Any announcements?
Notices.
Yeah. Any announcements?
Another Shabbat tomorrow, but it's too late to register now, so. So we need that.
Okay, can you pass me the sheet?
A week tomorrow, you're getting Vince and I leading the service, so it'd be nice to see you that Shabbat morning.
Thank you, Janet. Right. So we'll now go on to sing Adon Olam. We're going to sing the French Sephardi version. And do join in.
If you've got a song sheet, you'll find it on there. The last one it'll be.
You can sit down. You can sit down.
You can sit down, yeah.
Okay. Adon Olam Hashem Olam B'terem kol Yetzir Nivra Li'eg Nasa V'hefza kol Azai Melech Shemo Nikra Azai Melech Shemo Nikra V'yacharei Kiflot HaKol Levado Yimlok Nora V'hu Haya V'hu Hover V'hu Yiyeh V'tifara V'hu Yiyeh V'tifara V'hu Echad V'ein Sheni L'chad
Rishit, Beli Tachlit, Velo Haoz, V'ha Mizrach, Velo Haoz, V'ha Mizrach. V'hu Eli, V'chai Goli, V'tzur Hevli, B'etz Hara, V'hu Nisi, Umanosli, Manot Kosi, B'yom Ekra, Manot Kosi, B'yom Ekra. V'yado Havkid Ruchi, V'eit Isham, V'ya'iram, V'imruchi, Gaviyati, Adonai li, V'lo ira, Adonai li, V'lo ira.
I think that's it. Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom, everybody. Those of us who are here going in the garden for Kiddush. I don't know what happens to the people at home.